Imagine a giant, one that has walked this earth for 60 million years, slowly fading from our world. Not with a roar, but with a whisper. A creature of myth and legend, a living dinosaur, now slipping through our fingers like grains of sand. This isn't a fairy tale. This is the story of the Chinese giant salamander, the largest amphibian on Earth, and its silent, heartbreaking retreat from existence. For 2 minutes, let's just sit with that thought. Picture the world 60 million years ago, a world of primeval forests and untamed rivers. This giant was there. It saw the rise and fall of ancient beasts. It survived ice ages. It witnessed the dawn of humanity. Its lineage is a thread woven through the deep history of our planet. And now that thread is fraying. Think of the places it called home. Clear, cold mountain streams, rushing through ancient valleys. Cavernous, underwater caves, where it ruled the darkness. These were its kingdoms. But now, silence is falling upon these realms. The swamps that once echoed with its subtle movements are still. The rivers that were its highways are becoming empty channels. The water, once pristine, now carries the burdens of our modern world pollution, sediment from deforestation, the heat of a changing climate. Its habitat, the very foundation of its existence, is being dismantled piece by piece. The dams that power our cities have fragmented its rivers, turning flowing corridors into a series of isolated ponds, trapping populations and strangling their genetic diversity. We are losing more than just an animal. We are losing a part of our planet's memory, a living record of a time long past. The melancholy isn't just for the salamander, it's for us, for the world we are creating, a world with less wonder, less mystery. The loss of such a unique and ancient creature diminishes the richness of life itself. It's a quiet tragedy, unfolding in the murky depths, far from our daily lives, but its ripples touch us all. The slow-motion extinction of the Chinese giant salamander is a profound and somber story, a mirror reflecting our own impact on the natural world. This creature, Andreas davidinus, is a true marvel of evolution. It can grow up to 6 feet long, a behemoth of the amphibian world. It breathes through its skin, a porous, wrinkled hide that absorbs oxygen directly from the water. This is why the quality of its aquatic home is so critical. Clear, cool, oxygen-rich water isn't just a preference, it's a necessity for its survival. Its eyes are tiny and nearly sightless, relying instead on sensory nodes along its body to detect the faintest vibrations in the water, a sixth sense for navigating its dark underwater world and hunting prey like fish crabs and smaller amphibians. It's a creature of patience, a master of ambush. Lying motionless on the riverbed, looking more like a mottled rock than a living being, it waits for hours, sometimes days. Then, in a sudden, explosive movement, it opens its cavernous mouth, creating a vacuum that sucks in its unsuspecting victim. It's a hunting strategy perfected over millennia. Its life cycle is equally fascinating. The males are dedicated fathers, a rare trait in the amphibian kingdom. They guard the string-like clutches of eggs, sometimes laid by multiple females, in underwater dens. For months, the male protects his brood, fanning them with his tail to keep them oxygenated and clean, fiercely defending them from any potential threats. This paternal devotion ensures the next generation has a fighting chance. But a fighting chance is becoming harder and harder to find. The pressures are immense and multifaceted. We've talked about habitat loss and pollution, But there's an even more direct threat: overexploitation. In some parts of its range, the giant salamander has been considered a delicacy, a luxury food item. This has driven a relentless and often illegal hunt. Poachers have emptied entire river systems. Making matters worse is the rise of commercial farming. While it might seem like a solution, it has created a host of new problems. These farms often source their breeding stock from the wild, further depleting already fragile populations. What's truly devastating is the genetic consequence. For a long time, scientists thought there was just one species of Chinese giant salamander. But recent research has revealed a shocking truth. There isn't one species, but at least 5, and possibly as many as 8, distinct genetic lineages. These different species evolved in isolation in different river systems over millions of years. They are as different from each other as a polar bear is from a brown bear. The farming industry, however, has been mixing them all together, creating hybrids and releasing them into the wild for conservation purposes, without understanding the genetic damage they were causing. This well-intentioned but misguided practice is effectively erasing millions of years of unique evolutionary history. It's like taking all the different breeds of dogs and mixing them into one generic mutt, then claiming you've saved dog kind. The pure, wild species are being hybridized out of existence. So where does that leave us? Is it a hopeless situation? Not yet. There is still hope, and it lies in science, conservation, and a fundamental shift in our awareness. Researchers are now racing against time to map the genetic diversity of the remaining wild populations. They are trying to identify which species live where, a critical first step for any meaningful conservation plan. They are combing through remote streams, searching for the last pure-blooded individuals. It's detective work on a monumental scale. Conservation organizations are working on the ground, partnering with local communities and governments. They are working to protect and restore critical habitats, creating protected areas where the salamanders can live without the threat of pollution or poaching. Education is a massive part of this. They are raising awareness about the salamander's plight, explaining why it's not a food source, but a national treasure. They are working to change hearts and minds, to instill a sense of pride in this unique creature. The goal is to create a future where the salamander is valued more alive in its river than on a plate in a restaurant. And what can you do from wherever you are in the world? Awareness is the first and most powerful tool. Share this story. Talk about the Chinese giant salamander. The more people who know about its struggle, the greater the pressure on governments and industries to act. Support organizations that are dedicated to wildlife conservation. Many of them are doing the hard, thankless work on the front lines, and they rely on public support to continue their efforts. Be a conscious consumer. Understand that our choices have global consequences. The demand for products, whether it's food, energy, or materials, can drive habitat destruction thousands of miles away. This is about more than just one giant amphibian. The story of the Chinese giant salamander is a parable for our times. It's a story about what we value and what we are willing to lose in the name of progress. It forces us to ask ourselves, can we find a way to coexist with the ancient wonders of our world? Can we learn to see the value in a silent, secretive creature that has witnessed so much of our planet's history? The fate of this 60-million-year-old giant rests in our hands. Its whisper is a call to action. Let's make sure we are listening, and let's make sure our answer is one of hope, respect, and a commitment to preserving the magic that still exists in the wild corners of our world. Let's not let its story end in silence. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please give this video a like and share it to help spread the word. And for more stories about our incredible planet and the creatures we share it with, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Deep beneath the soil, secrets lie buried, waiting for millions of years to be told. Imagine a world so different from our own, a time when colossal creatures roamed the land and swam in the waters. These aren't just stories. They are chapters of our planet's history, etched in stone. For 2 minutes, let's journey back, not just thousands, but millions of years, to uncover a past that's been patiently waiting for us. In the heart of South America, the Earth has been slowly giving up its ancient mysteries, revealing a lost world of giants. These discoveries are not just bones. They are clues to a life that thrived long before humanity. What did this world look like? What titans called it home? The answers are found in the fossils, silent witnesses to an epic saga of life and extinction. Colombia, a country known for its vibrant culture and lush landscapes, holds a particularly astonishing chapter of this story. Let's peel back the layers of time and see what wonders we can find. Welcome to a journey through time. Today, we're exploring the incredible fossil discoveries of Colombia, where prehistoric giants once ruled. Our first stop takes us to the Tatacoa Desert, a place that wasn't always a sun-scorched expanse of ochre and gray. 12 million years ago, this was a teeming tropical forest, a biodiverse paradise. Imagine giant ground sloths, the size of a small car, lumbering through the dense undergrowth. Think of armadillos so large they could dwarf a modern-day pig, and crocodile-like creatures that made today's reptiles look like lizards. The fossils found here paint a picture of a vibrant megafauna ecosystem. Scientists have unearthed the remains of Astropitherium, a bizarre, hippo-like mammal with tusks and a short trunk. Each fossil is a puzzle piece, helping paleontologists reconstruct this ancient world, revealing the sheer scale and diversity of life that once flourished here. But the most jaw-dropping discovery from Colombia comes from a different time and place: the Surijan coal mine. 60 million years ago, shortly after the dinosaurs vanished, this region was a sweltering, swampy jungle. And in this jungle lived a true monster, a creature that defies imagination: Titanoboa. This was the largest snake that ever existed. Forget anacondas. Titanoboa was longer than a school bus and weighed more than a ton. Its discovery in 2009 completely changed our understanding of prehistoric ecosystems. Finding its massive vertebrae allowed scientists to estimate its incredible size. It was so enormous that it could have easily swallowed a crocodile whole. In fact, fossils of its prey, giant turtles with shells the size of a kitchen table, were found right alongside it. The existence of a cold-blooded animal this large tells us that the climate in this ancient rainforest was much hotter than we previously thought. A truly alien world of colossal reptiles. These incredible finds don't just stay in the field. They make their way to museums and research institutions across Colombia, like the Geological Museum in Bogotá or the Paleontological Museum in Villa de Lava. Here, the real magic happens. These aren't dusty, forgotten collections. They are vibrant hubs of scientific discovery. When a new fossil is brought in, a meticulous process begins. It's carefully cleaned, stabilized, and cataloged. Every bone, every fragment is treated like a priceless artifact. Using cutting-edge technology like 3D scanning and digital modeling, scientists can reconstruct the skeletons of these ancient beasts. This isn't just about putting bones together, it's about bringing the past to life. They study the muscle attachments on the bones to understand how these creatures moved, the wear patterns on their teeth to know what they ate, and the structure of their skulls to learn about their senses. It's a detective story written in stone, and each new discovery adds another clue. The reconstruction process is a beautiful blend of art and science. Once the digital models are complete, artists and paleontologists work together to flesh out these ancient animals. They use evidence from the fossils and comparisons with modern relatives to infer skin texture, color patterns, and behavior. Was that prehistoric mammal covered in fur or thick hide? Did that marine reptile have sleek skin for speed? While we can't know for sure, these educated reconstructions give us a powerful glimpse into their world. You can see these magnificent reconstructions in museums, standing as silent giants. When you stand before a life-sized model of Titanoboa, or a massive marine reptile like the Kronosaurus, you truly grasp the scale of life that came before us. It's a humbling and awe-inspiring experience, connecting us directly to a deep past that shaped the world we live in today. But Colombia's prehistoric story isn't just about land and swamp. It's also about a vast, ancient sea. Around 130 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, much of what is now the Andes Mountains was submerged under a shallow tropical ocean. The town of Vela de Lava is a world-famous hotspot for marine fossils from this era. Here, paleontologists have unearthed the remains of incredible sea monsters. Imagine the Kronosaurus, a short-necked pliosaur with a skull nearly 10 feet long, filled with teeth the size of bananas. It was an apex predator, the T-Rex of the sea. Another fascinating discovery is the Moronosaurus, a long-necked plesiosaur, gliding gracefully through the water like a sea serpent from myth. These weren't dinosaurs, but a distinct group of marine reptiles that dominated the oceans. The fossils are so well preserved that in some cases, you can even see the contents of their last meals, giving us direct evidence of the ancient food web. One of the most remarkable fossils ever found in Villa de Lava is a nearly complete skeleton of a young Kronosaurus, unearthed in the 1970s. It's so well preserved that it has become an icon of Colombian paleontology. Another incredible find is a pregnant ichthyosaur, a dolphin-like reptile with the fossilized embryos still inside her. This discovery provided irrefutable proof that these marine reptiles gave birth to live young in the water, just like modern whales and dolphins. Each of these fossils tells a personal story, a snapshot of a moment in time frozen for over 100 million years. They reveal not just what these animals looked like, but how they lived, hunted, and reproduced. It's a testament to the richness of life in these ancient seas and the incredible power of fossils to preserve these intimate details across eons. These discoveries do more than just satisfy our curiosity about the past. They are crucial for understanding our present and future. By studying the fossils from periods of major climate change, like the hot world of Titanoboa, scientists can learn how ecosystems respond to dramatic shifts in temperature and environment. These ancient worlds serve as natural experiments, showing us what happens when CO2 levels are high or when sea levels rise. They teach us about extinction events and how life recovers and diversifies afterward. The story of Columbia's fossils is a story of resilience, adaptation, and the interconnectedness of all life. It reminds us that our planet has a long, dramatic history, and that we are just one part of its ongoing story. Understanding this deep history gives us a broader perspective on our own place in the world and the importance of preserving the biodiversity we have today. So, the next time you think of Colombia, think beyond its beautiful beaches and vibrant cities. Think of the hidden world beneath your feet, a world of giants, sea monsters, and lost ecosystems. The fossils of Colombia are a national treasure, a window into a time so distant it's hard to comprehend. But thanks to the dedicated work of paleontologists and researchers, these ancient stories are no longer silent. They are being told in museums, in scientific papers, and in documentaries like this one, inspiring a new generation to look at the ground beneath them with a sense of wonder and curiosity. What other secrets are still buried, waiting to be discovered? The next great find could be just around the corner, ready to rewrite another chapter in the incredible, epic story of life on Earth. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more adventures into our planet's amazing past. Listen to the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird, the hum of insects. It's a symphony of life, a world bustling with stories. But have you ever wondered about the stories that end in silence? The stories of the greatest kings and queens of nature, creatures so magnificent they seemed eternal, who one day simply vanished. No grand ceremony, no witnesses to their final breath, just a quiet fading from the world they once ruled. Imagine a giant, a true sovereign, not of a kingdom built with stone, but of a sprawling, ancient jungle. This ruler's crown wasn't gold, but a shimmering tapestry of scales. Its throne wasn't carved from wood, but coiled within the warm, humid heart of the rainforest. Its reign was absolute, unchallenged. For millions of years, it held dominion, a silent, powerful force of nature. This isn't just a flight of fancy. This is the story of Titanoboa, the largest snake that ever lived. A creature so colossal it almost defies imagination. Picture a creature longer than a school bus, weighing more than a small car. A constrictor so powerful it could crush its prey with a force that would buckle steel. For a time, in the steamy jungles of what is now Colombia, 60 million years ago, Titanoboa was the apex predator, the undisputed monarch. It was a world perfectly suited for a giant. Titanoboa thrived in this extreme heat. As a cold-blooded reptile, its immense size was actually an advantage, helping it maintain its body temperature in a climate far warmer than today's. It was a masterpiece of evolution, perfectly adapted to its environment. It would have moved through the water with an eerie grace, a silent hunter, its eyes just breaking the surface. On land, its immense bulk would have been a sight to behold, a moving mountain of muscle and scale. It was the living embodiment of the raw, untamed power of nature. But in the fossil record and the slow, inexorable shifts of our planet, the jungles that were its kingdom began to shrink and transform. For a creature so specialized, so perfectly attuned to a specific set of conditions, even a small change in temperature could be catastrophic. Its colossal size, once its greatest asset, became its biggest vulnerability. It was too big to adapt quickly. The very thing that made it a king was now its undoing. There was no cataclysmic event, no asteroid, no dramatic final battle, just a slow, silent squeeze from a changing world. The last Titanoboa likely died alone, its massive body returning to the earth, its story seemingly lost to time. The forest grew over its bones, and for millions of years, the reign of the Serpent King was a secret held only by the stones. It wasn't until our time, millions of years later, that a few fossilized vertebrae were unearthed in a Colombian coal mine. It was these giant bones that allowed us to piece together the story, to resurrect this lost monarch in our imaginations. It's a humbling reminder that even the mightiest can fall, not with a bang, but with a whisper. Now, let's bring our thoughts back to the present. Close your eyes for a moment and picture our world's rainforests today. The Amazon, the Congo, the jungles of Southeast Asia. They are the direct descendants of Titanoboa's ancient world. They are just as vibrant, just as full of life, and just as fragile. They are home to their own kings and queens, the sleek jaguar, the powerful gorilla, the majestic eagle. Millions of species, each a unique and irreplaceable part of a complex web of life. And just like Titanoboa's world, our rainforests are changing. But this time, the change isn't a slow, natural cooling over millennia. It's a rapid, unprecedented shift driven by us, the trees that form the canopy, the very lungs of our planet, are disappearing at an alarming rate. The climate is warming, but in a way that's chaotic and disruptive, not nurturing. The symphony of the rainforest is being interrupted, its harmonies distorted by the roar of chainsaws and the silence of empty branches. They are not vanishing because of a natural ice age, but because their homes are being taken away. When the last of a species of tree frog sings its final song, does anyone hear it? When the last jaguar silently stalks a forest that is no longer there, do we mark its passing? The story of Titanoboa is not just a fascinating tale from a bygone era. It's a mirror. It reflects our own time, our own responsibility. It shows us what's at stake. We are the witnesses this time. We are the ones who can hear the forests cry. We are the ones who can choose to act to prevent countless more stories from ending in silence. But this isn't a story of despair. It's a story of hope. Because unlike the slow planetary forces that sealed Titanoboa's fate, the changes happening today are within our power to influence. The same ingenuity that allowed us to unearth a 60-million-year-old secret from a coal mine can be used to protect the living wonders of our world. Hope is found in the dedicated people working on the ground, planting trees, creating protected areas, and working with local communities. It's found in the scientists who study these ecosystems, helping us understand what they need to thrive. It's found in each of us, in the small choices we make every day, the products we buy, the causes we support, the awareness we spread. Think of it like this. Every tree planted is a new verse in the forest's song. Every protected acre is a sanctuary for a future king or queen. Every voice raised for conservation is a testament that we are listening, that we will not let these lives fade in silence. We can be the guardians of this era. We can be the ones who ensure that the symphony of the rainforest continues for generations to come.